The sun is rising. Fire on the mountain over there. And me, lucky enough to have a second day in a row where I feel good enough to get out here on the river. So I'm gonna try and catch a couple trout. I brought the fly rod today, see how that pans out. But also brought the spinner rod just in case that doesn't work out. But let's get on into it and see what happens. Oh wow, that eagle nest I showed you in another video. It's so big you can see it from here. That thing is enormous. It's like right behind my finger. Thing's like 10 feet wide. Anyways, let's go see who's home this morning. All right. Yeah, first catch of the day. Little tiny rainbow trout. Looks like he's cleanly hooked. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the hook out and let him go. Always wet your hand before handling a trout. I already wet my hand once. I just wanted to show you. Because the stuff that is the slime on them. Boy, this guy just went deep into the grass. He's going deeper into the grass. Holy shit. What the hell? Oh no. Hold on a second. Turns out it's not a rainbow after all, but a baby brown. Boy, that thing just went so deep into the damn grass. Like it was burrowing like a little rat or something. It's probably gonna take a while for it to catch its breath. You all good, buddy? You can take off whenever you want. All right. Have a better day. Later. I was about to tell you about the slime layer on the fish's skin, but I got distracted when that thing burrowed down into this grass all the way to the bottom. But yeah, you always want to wet your hands before you grab a fish if you're gonna let it go, because the slime on the outside, that's a layer of mucus that protects the fish from bacterial and virus infection and whatnot. Helps protect them against all kinds of stuff. So when you catch them and you grab them with a dry hand, that strips that layer of mucus right off of them. And if there's anything in the water that could get them sick, they're a lot more apt to get sick without that mucus layer. It takes them a while to reproduce it. It's not like human snot. We just make nose snot whenever our nose needs snot. A fish takes a while to produce that mucus layer. So remember, always wet your hands before handling a trout before you're gonna let it go. They're very delicate. And here's our second catch of the day. The very next cast. Crazy thing is that little tiny brown hit my spinner as soon as it hit the water, and the same thing for this guy. They're both too small though. I'm gonna let this guy go as well. Looks like he's pretty cleanly hooked. Oh, this one's really, really pretty. Those red spots. What a gorgeous specimen. Go ahead and let him back in the water. And he's a little male. Let him go put his juices on some eggs. Come on, buddy. All right. Another successful release. Probably gonna release more than not today unless I catch a really big one. So I got a lot of fish in my freezer right now. Stock it up for the winter. Usually I'll catch a couple browns and then I'll catch a rainbow. Like last quite a few times I've come out, but this is the third brown in a row. I'm gonna go and get this hook out of his mouth and let him go. All right, this is very deep spot. I gotta try not to slip in. There he goes. All right. Well, this particular spot, well, being much deeper than all the other spots that I've fished on this river, and it's got a nice eddy. Seems like there'd be bigger fish, but I'm catching nothing but smalls. So I think I'm gonna try like 5 or 6 more casts, and if I don't catch a bigger one, then I'm gonna move on downstream. That is a rather large eagle. So I did that 5 or 6 more casts at the last spot and only caught a couple more smallies. Well, not smallmouth, but small trout. So I moved down a little bit and I continue to catch small trout. Seems like the river just keeps getting deeper and wider as I go down. Maybe there's some big fish down there. Still feeling pretty good. Maybe go check it out. Well, I still haven't moved down because I decided to try my fly rod. I am as beginner as you can be with a fly rod. I've maybe used it 3 times, still figuring out the cast. I did, however, just get to where I could cast it right into that hole every time and then twitch it as it comes along this bank, but not getting any bites, even though this is the closest pattern I can find to what's still alive around here right now. I'm just thinking maybe this hole is just not it. So I'm gonna head on down there and see what happens. Holy crap, that is a feisty brown. That might even be a keeper size. Boy, that thing is not wanting to come out of the water. I gotta put my phone away real quick. Yeah, he's keeper size, all right. Looks like he got attacked by something. He's got some scar tissue on his back right here. Maybe a big hen or something got him. But yeah, that's a good looking trout. Put him out of his misery real quick. And once you see their fins start twitching, tails twitching, you know they're unconscious. At which point, I like to take my knife, cut their gills. I need to get a GoPro so I can do this with one hand while I film with the other, or not use the other hand, but yeah, it's not easy to do with one hand, but I like to cut their gills, and then I like to puncture their spine, nerve stem. This guy is not wanting to go to sleep, so I'm just gonna bonk him one more time. That ought to do it. So yeah, even though I'm gonna kill him and eat him, there's no point in letting him go through any excessive torturous suffering. You can see his nerves twitching even on his back muscles right there. But that is a pretty fish. Look at these redness on the adipose fin right here. Some interesting scar tissue. Looks like something big got him. Either that or he got attacked when he was small. But that is quite the scar tissue right there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and completely clean this thing out real quick. All right, got him dispatched. Got him bled out. His nerves are still twitching a little bit, but if you're wondering what I caught him on, I got him on this 2-inch little Cleo, silver and blue with the diamond-shaped dimples. Lots of flash going on there. Crazy thing is, though, I casted it way over against that bank where the water's pretty deep, and then I was just kind of jigging it along that bank, and then it caught the current, and I came across and I started reeling it from under that log along this bank, and that freaking thing bit me right in front of me. I watched it come up and snag my spoon, which is why I want to get a GoPro. A buddy of mine actually told me he's got a GoPro he might give to me, so that'd be cool. But let me see if I can catch one more, and we'll see what happens. Well, a little bit of a double-edged sword situation here. I just hooked the biggest fish I've ever hooked in the Colville River, and it snapped me off. I don't know if you can see my line, but so that really makes me want to keep fishing. However, pain levels are starting to kick back in, so I gotta go. Man, that was a big fish. I hope I get another day to do this soon so I can try and come down here with some heavier line and catch that freaking thing again. Felt like it was about 8 pounds, which is weird because 2 years ago there was a heavy duty drought and heat wave that lasted over a month, and this river was like 11 to 12 inches deep at its deepest point, save for a few ponds, a few pools along the way, but even those were really warm because the water being so shallow and just being baked in the sun as it flows downstream. Even the deeper pockets were pretty warm. There's a guy that used to live at there's a house at the bottom of Myers Falls, which is where this river is dammed up before it hits the Columbia River. And he's responsible for counting all the dead fish that get caught in the traps at the bottom of the dam. And during that drought, he said that he estimated that every single fish in this river that wasn't a carp died from that heat wave. And he counted several dozen brown and rainbow trouts between 8 and 10 pounds, he said. Mostly browns in that size category. But it's been about 2 years and they've been growing back. And I figured that this was about as big as I'm gonna see them after 2 years. But what I just hooked and what just snapped me off was a freaking giant. I didn't even get it to the surface. It was fighting me and it was pulling me against the current. And I was trying to get it over here into this eddy where there's less current, but he just kept going that way and he kept going that way and pap, snapped my line. But man, that felt like a gigantic fish. So I'm gonna go home and take a load off and relax, and hopefully I'll have another day of relatively less pain and come on down here and try and catch that freaking thing again. That'd be cool to get it on the video. But thanks for watching. And again, like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I'll try to make more of it. That's really the only motivation I need, to be honest with you. That and having days when I don't hurt so bad. But yeah, lovely morning here on the Colville River, and I'm about to go home. And yeah, on the way I'm gonna stop at a spot where I can clean this trout, because this spot I'm about 1.5 feet above the water, and the water right here is about 5 feet deep. I don't really feel like falling in, so I'm gonna walk downstream and go clean this guy real quick. So I was just about to go and gut this trout at a shallower point, but then I decided I was gonna tie a lure on my line just to, you know, fasten it to my reel so I wasn't just carrying loose line. And a few months back I bought a used tackle box at a garage sale. Had a whole bunch of old vintage lures in it, and it has this goldfish, which I've never thrown in my whole life. I've been fishing since I was 3 years old. I'm 48 now, so that's 45 years of fishing, and I've never thrown a goldfish. So you know what? I'm just gonna toss this thing a couple times and see what happens before I leave. All right. Well, I guess goldfish do get bites. First freaking cast, I just hooked into that monster fish again, and it broke me off. So now it has 2 of my lures in its mouth, so I'm definitely gonna keep on casting just to get my lures back, if nothing else. But then again, my line's so weak. Frick. Well, I don't want to lose another lure. I feel bad that fish has 2 lures in its face right now, but maybe I'll feel good enough to come back down tomorrow with some heavier line. Catch it then. Good God, what a frustrating situation. All I have is this little 6-pound line. Oops. I just didn't think there was any big fish around anymore, so I didn't bring my heavier stuff, but lesson learned, huh? Always be prepared. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and go clean this fish and call it a day. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. I got to the place where I cleaned my fish. Decided to throw a line one more time. Caught one more little brown. Go ahead and release this guy. Well, he really tried to swallow this minnow I threw. I tried to grab him and he's a little too feisty. I don't want to fuck him up. Pardon my language. I'm just trying to let him tire himself out a little bit before I try to handle him, because I just tried to grab him and he freaked out, and he's got the hook really far in his mouth, so I don't want to hurt him too bad because I need to release him. But what a pretty fish, huh? Beautiful little fish. All right, I'm gonna try and get this hook out. All right, got the hook out. What an absolutely beautiful little trout. It's just gorgeous. Golly, what a pretty fish. Brown trouts are just amazing. All right, buddy. Anytime you're ready. There you go. All right, buddy. Well, he just doesn't want to leave. He's hanging out. All right. Now I'm going to clean my fish. So yesterday I forgot my fillet knife, so I brought my pocket knife. Today I brought my fillet knife because I couldn't find my pocket knife, yeah? And so I just came down to the water's edge, cleaned my trout, and I'm glad that nobody else came fishing here yesterday and saw this, because I left that there all day yesterday. All right. Look at that beautiful pink meat inside this brown trout. That is going to be very delicious. And I'm glad I only caught one keeper size, because the water's way colder than it was yesterday. Painfully cold, in fact. Just cleaning this fish, I had to sit here for a couple minutes with my hands in my pants just to be able to grab my phone. My hands are so cold it hurt. But anyway, that will definitely conclude this fishing mission. I hope you guys stay fishy. Keep your lines wet. If you can't keep them tight, that's all right. As long as you get them wet, that's all that really matters. Just get out there. Get some outdoor adventure in your life. It's good for the soul. And keep it real. Keep it official. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take off and see you guys next time. Give me a like and subscribe. Almost forgot to show you what I caught that last brown on. This little 2-inch Storm pre-rigged soft swim bait. It was just something I put on my line to keep my line secure while I walked back to the car. And came down here to clean that fish and decided, you know what, I'm gonna throw it and see what happens. Caught that beautiful young brown. Sorry, I don't have a GoPro and this is really difficult. I'm just trying to show you why I tied this guy on after I snapped off. But it's really difficult to hold a phone in one hand and do a task with the other. But that's what I'm gonna get a GoPro for soon. And yeah, so there's the minnow I caught him on. And I'm using a Shakespeare GX 235. I've had this thing for 6 years and have beaten the crap out of it and it still goes. It's cheap. I bought it with a rod for 60 bucks, I believe. The rod tip snapped off real fast, so I replaced it with this Daiwa Crossfire. It's the cheapest pole I could find at North 40 here in Colville. But bro, I love this pole. It's so sensitive. I don't know what 702 MFS means. I don't know what the weight of it is or anything, but here's the dimensions. It's a 7-foot medium, 1/8 to 3/4 ounce, 8 to 15 pounds. So I guess that's a medium light, but it's really stiff and it casts really good. So this is a good cheap rod. If you're looking for a cheap rod, definitely go with one of these because it was less than 30 bucks. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to it.